Now we're going to go over chicken care. Chickens are easy to keep in an urban environment in your backyard to give you fresh eggs and get rid of food waste. So I'm going to show you my flock here. But basically, just the basics of chicken keeping is they need shelter, food, water, and fencing. This flock has a rooster in it, which in the city you can't have, but I live out in the country, so the rooster is optional, which you'll hear here. So first, let's go in and we'll feed the chickens first. Food you can get at any feed store or Rural King. You can get mixed grains or lame pellets or cracked corn. This has cracked corn in it, but there's like four different kinds of grains. And you just give them, maybe a little bit. This is the second time today, but a little bit more than this every day. I have 6 hens and 1 rooster. They love that stuff. But they also, the benefit of chickens is they eat food scraps. So just some kitchen scraps here. Next treat. They're not so hungry right now. But that's basically how you feed them. And the water, sell these handy little watering things. You can fill them up and it comes out the bottom there and they can just get water whenever they need. For shelter, basically you need to keep them protected at night and a roof over their head to keep them dry. And you can see the inside over here. The basics are they need to get in it, so some way to get up into the chicken coop. This one's real basic, so this is the inside of a chicken coop. You need some bedding down here. You can use straw, or this is what is it, pine shavings. You can buy at a feed store. And here are the eggs. You can also have a laying box. Some people have a laying, like a designated box, a couple boxes for them to lay in. Usually if you have like 6 chickens, they all just lay in one place anyways. So the box really isn't necessary. No matter, all the chickens take turns laying their eggs in one spot in the coop right there. So that's the eggs that we can take inside and eat. Oh yeah, shelter, like a lot of people are worried about cold temperatures, and they're very resistant to cold temperatures. You don't need a heat lamp in it, anything like that. The one thing, they can get frostbitten, so you need to keep the wind off. Like a couple years ago when it got down below 0, I wrapped the whole coop in a tarp just to keep the wind from blowing in. Is that one getting out? No. And for fencing, what I have here around here is some electric fence and a little solar. You can see it out here. Solar battery. Solar powered battery that charges electric line that I hook up to the fence, and that keeps the predators out. But let me go back in. But if you don't want to do that, and in a city, most people have the coop. They have a confined yard that's attached to the coop, and there's regulations in the city as far as materials. This is a very bare bones basic one. It doesn't look very pretty, kind of like my compost pile. But if you follow the regulations in the city, you'll end up with a good looking coop. And I think I'll share a picture with my friend Brad in West Knoxville, his coop that he built for him and his kids. The fencing, it can be, I think it has to be 48 inches high so they can't fly from the ground over the fence. Fencing mostly in urban areas is to keep out dogs. This electric fence keeps predators like possums and raccoons out from the coop, but if you're in a city, you'd probably want to secure them at night. And you didn't have an electric fence, you probably want to secure them at night by having a door that would close and latch around them. Let's see. I guess the other things is we do rotate these chickens, so you can see our garden over there. In the winter, after the season was done, we rotated them in there to feed off to glean, I guess, off of the garden from last year. And they would root around and poop and fertilize the garden. And so that was last season. It aged through the year, through the winter, and now we're planting on it. So it's good for that, and it's also good for eating kitchen scraps, getting rid of those. And the bedding from the coop needs to be cleaned out once every couple weeks, and that can be composted in the compost pile. Other than that, I guess I would say that they're a lot of fun for the kids, and if you get them young, you can handle them a lot, and they can be very friendly. We're watching a friend's flock over here, and she handled them a lot when they're young, and they're very friendly. These, not so much. But yeah, I guess acquiring chickens, you can buy little chicks, but you have to raise them inside with a heat lamp. It can be a little tough, but you can buy pullets, which are teenage chickens that are about 6 months old, and you can put them already into the backyard, and they're almost ready to lay at that age, and they cost about $10 to $15 each. So that's a good option to go. They live about 6 years, and prime egg laying age is 1 year to 3 years, about that. And during the prime times of the year, they lay 1 egg per chicken per day. So, and then in the winter, you won't get any for several months without a light in the coop. Their egg laying is activated by the light they receive. So a lot of people do have a light in the coop, not for warmth, but for to keep them laying through the darker months. So yeah, about 4 to 6 chickens per household would be enough to keep you in eggs through most of the year. Is there anything else, Marilyn? Okay. Well, I think that's it. Thanks.